All right, let's do this. Fusing music, connecting people, making a difference. This is jazz in this year. Well, good evening, everybody. This is a little bit different because I have to, well, you know that it's already a different night. So I had to adjust a few things. I had some technical difficulties going on, but I hope that y'all can still see me and hope that you can still hear me and understand everything that's going on. Um, we are in the, first of all, my name, for those of you that don't know, Richard DeBrew Jr. I'm a gospel jazz saxophonist, pianist, and songwriter, and you know that I love this music, of course. And and all the folks that make it. Love y'all. Really, really do. And so this month of May, what we have been doing is kind of pausing from spotlighting artists and those that make the music and kind of focusing on those that play it, even though some of those folks are artists themselves. This week, we've been talking about gospel jazz radio and places where you can go to hear this incredible music. Um, you know that the first week I talked about Mr. Rich Germain and his jazz radio network, which features the Gospel Jazz Station. Last week we talked about Ms. Leslie Harrison, who's on WBGO. She's got a show called Come Sunday. And this week I want to focus on a brother who's a dear friend of mine, Mr. Tony Smith. He has had a show for over 20 years, maybe, I don't know, maybe closer to 30 now. It's been called Gospel Jazzations, and it was on 89.1 FM WFDU, which is the Fairlrigh Dickerson University station in New Jersey. And Brother Tony has been holding it down. He's a wonderful saxophonist, and and he's also been an on-air personality for quite some time now. He's got a bunch of albums out. Right now, he is, experiencing some health challenges, and so we definitely want to keep lifting him up in prayer. I am not entirely sure whether his show is still functioning right now. I didn't get a chance to confirm that with him in person, but what I do know is that there is a nice archive of music that you can listen to from all the years that he's been doing this. All you have to do is go to tonysmith.com. And Tony Smith has had the show, as I said, called Gospel Jazzations. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you just a little taste of some of his broadcasts. Now, let me also, for those of you who are on the stream, that's what Brother Tony looks like. All right. And this was the just kind of the show that he has and has had for many years. So I just want y'all to check that out. But let me I'm going to try to go to some of his old broadcasts. Instagram folks, kind of hang with me for a minute because I'm going to kind of shift y'all around a little bit. But let's see. Is this I think, Gospel Jazzations? Yeah, there we go. All right. And okay. Is this the one? Entering this one manually so I can make sure that I get to it. But you can go either tonysmith.com or gospeljazzations.com, and you should be able to pull that up. Let me do it that way and see if that gives me a better result. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's going to work better. Is this the? Yes. Okay, there we go. And this is, some archive shows. We're just going to give you a little taste of some of the shows that he's done previously. and just, some of the wonderful music. Like I said, he's been doing this for decades. And
yeah, WFDU 89.1 FM, Gospel Jazzations, 117 in the AM. My name is Tony Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another edition of Gospel Jazzations. We're right back with you in about 10 minutes or so, kicking it off with Ron Brown, Since Jesus Came.
And of course, Brother Tony, who was famous, I should say past tense, because he's still very much alive, but he has one of those deep voices too. So he used to always say, yeah, when he was doing his broadcast and he was getting ready to come on. And so, he's just a beautiful brother. And I thank him so much for doing this as a pioneer. He was for many years, his show was like the only show of its kind, Gospel Jazzations, in the whole New York tri-state area. Right now, as you know, we have Miss Leslie Harrison, who's on WBGO, which is a very high-profile station. But Brother Tony, for years and years and years, he was doing that by himself. And the crazy thing is he had the red eye shift. His show came on Tuesday, I guess it was really Wednesday morning at about 1:30 a.m. till about 6:30 a.m. And so that was a tough time to catch people unless you're working the late shift. But yeah, Brother Tony, I really salute him for holding it down all those years. That was definitely not easy to do. And we certainly hope that he gets a chance to come back and bless us again with his ministry. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing that he's been doing all these years. And so, Tony, we love you, dude. So that was just a little taste of some of the stuff that he did. But for those that might just be joining me, what I'd like you to do when this broadcast is over is to just go to, I think I said tonysmith.com, but what would be even better is if you go to Gospel Jazzations. Just enter Gospel Jazzations, Jazzations, and you will find his show. Tony Smith is the host of that show. And if you go to the archives, this is not live broadcasting, but these are just shows that he's done. We're going all the way back to 2008, 2009. So you'll hear him introduce some albums as new that have been out for a long time. But the music, that's the thing that I really want to call attention to. This music, a lot of this music you may not have heard of before, or you may have not heard it all in one place as part of one collection. And that was one of the great things that Tony did. He knew this music. He was a gospel jazz musician himself. And I shouldn't say was, he is a gospel jazz musician himself. And he has, he dedicated his life to this just as I have and many of us have. And I'm trying to see.
You boys are real good.
Let's give him a little taste of him again.
John, Corey, and JP. My name is Tony Smith. You're tuned in to another edition of Gospel Jazzations, where we do give you the best in gospel jazz, gospel instrumental, and you know how we do, a little bit of everything else in between. 118 in the AM. We're going to kick this morning off with music from Tyrone Burkett.
Hey, Tyrone Burkett, who's right here.
Up by my main man, Brother Mark Lomax, who's tuning in, logging on right now at WFDU.FM. The song entitled Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Yes. This is Gospel Jazzations. Give me a call at 201-692-2012. That's 201-692-2012. And we are streaming all the way live, kicking it all the way live, tone style, that is, at WFDU.FM. I'll be right back with you. Y'all stay tuned. Be right back with you. Stay blessed.
Y'all remember Tyrone from February? And yes, that's Paula Ralph Cat singing.
Strong in heart, strong in mind, knowing that through it all, He is there with us. And when you get tired, look from where you've come.
Sing, Paula.
And in a vision where you're going to be, see a destiny and trials will come on every side. But in Him I will abide. Made up my mind to stand. If that's all I can do, I may come through fire. You may come through fire. But in all we're covered by His love. So I will keep pressing on, fighting on. Yes, I will keep pressing on, fighting on.
Good, y'all. So that's the thing. Now, see, I'm always talking about support those who support you. You see very easily that, this is not a huge community right there in the sort of New York gospel jazz area, because you had heard from Tyrone Burkett as well as Paula in the months of February for Tyrone, in the month of March for Paula. We heard them as spotlighted artists on this show. But of course, they've been recording for many years, and Tony had featured their music on his show as well. And so, it's just a fellowship. And so when we support each other, that's how that cross-pollination happens. And so it was really refreshing to see him featuring them back then, even as, they've done so many incredible things since then. So Tyrone and Paula, it's great to hear y'all always. And Brother Tony, as I said, we just salute you for all that you've done for all these years. And you definitely have made a serious impact on this gospel jazz sound and the whole industry as we know it. So we definitely are grateful for you. So, folks, I just want to let you know, once again, for those who did not hear it before, his name is Tony Smith, just like it sounds, TonySmith. Good brother, wonderful saxophone player, recording artist, on-air personality for WFDU FM, which was 89.1 FM in New Jersey, which is the Fairlrigh Dickerson University station. And he's had a show called Gospel Jazzations for many years, which you can still find archives of. I'm not sure if the show is still in existence right now, because Brother Tony, like I said, is experiencing some health challenges right now. But his heart is definitely still with us in gospel jazz, and it's something that is not just a pastime for him; it's a passion, and we definitely appreciate all the ways that he's blazed trails and just made it. Called attention to this music for all of us. And while I'm at it, I want to give you a little idea of some of the things that he's done over the years. Now, check this out. Some of the people he's interviewed, maybe, of course, you've heard of Kirk Whalum, Lonnie Youngblood. I don't know if you know of him, but wonderful musician, Lisa McClendon, Howard Hewitt, Jonathan Dubose, the Singletons, you know about them. Joy D. Moore, who's right here in the Richmond area. Ben Tankard, Martha Munizzi, my brother Courtney Fadlin, who was at Berkeley with me. Terrence Richburg, you heard about him, right? And let's see, I'm thinking of some other folks you all probably know. Well, he interviewed me when Look and Live, the first version of it came out in 2008. He had me on the show. And I also want to give a shout out to Brother Don Corey Washington, who was a co-host for years with him. Don Corey Washington, wonderful, wonderful tenor vocalist, sings with a group called Provenance, and they are fantastic. And Don also, he sang on the 23rd Psalm on my Jazz in the Spirit album. And so, like I said, it's just a community. And, I thank him for his contributions as well. Wonderful, wonderful talent. So you can find all of that stuff. Just Google Gospel Jazzations and you'll see Brother Tony smiling, with you'll see kind of like the radio gear there with him. And, we want to, as I said, this month, call attention to gospel jazz radio and let you know places where you can go to hear this music at any time. Because it's very important that you know where you can find it, because gospel jazz is not something that is it's not publicized all that much, at least not yet. But I'm working on doing that right now, and I definitely appreciate your help. Those of you who have supported, who have liked these videos, who have shared affirming words and so on, I definitely appreciate it. So continue to support gospel jazz. Continue to look for ways that we understand ways that we fuse music, we connect people, and ultimately we make a difference. I had themed this particular episode "Be Ye Steadfast" because it's based on 1 Corinthians 15:58, which in the King James Version says, "Be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, and for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain." And that just epitomizes what Brother Tony has been all about for all this time. He's, he did this when, as a pioneer, when no one else was doing this in the tri-state area. And he's just stayed with it and stayed with it. And I'm sure that it was difficult. I'm sure that people discouraged him at times, like, dude, what are you doing? But he just kept at it and kept at it. And as a result, so many people got to meet him. He got to encounter them, interview them, and so on. And has had a wonderful career over these years. So once again, Brother Tony Smith, give him some love, y'all. Gospel Jazzations. And thank you, Tony, for so many years of blessing us with your Gospel Jazzations ministry, as well as your saxophone music. So check out his albums are still out there. I know he's got at least 5 of them. So a lot of great music that you can hear that will bless you, that will encourage you, and continue to check out Brother Tony. So once again, you can certainly find all of this stuff on Jazz in the Spirit. You can find my website, www.jazzinthespirit.com. Facebook is Jazz in the Spirit. YouTube is Jazz in the Spirit Video. Twitter is Jazz in the Spirit, and Instagram. Hey, Instagram is also Jazz in the Spirit. So you all, we're getting ready to get out of here. I just wanted to, James Brown was at the hit and quit, right? Because it's the Thursday, and so I got some other stuff I got to do. But I thank you, as always, for just taking a little bit of your time and sharing it with me and learning. I hope that each one of these episodes will allow you to learn just a little bit more than you did before about Jazz in the Spirit and about this music that we call gospel jazz, where we fuse music, we connect people, and we make a difference. So, folks, with that, I'm going to bid you a good night, and we'll see you hopefully next Wednesday. We'll continue with Jazz in the Spirit, episode 21. I forgot to say, this is episode 20. It's amazing that we've been able to do that. But thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot. Tony, we love you. Keep gospel jazz alive, y'all. It makes a huge difference. All right, y'all. Have a great night. God bless.